last night, or a few hours ago, because it's 4 in the morning right now, I heard while I was sleeping a little tap, tap, tap along the side of the van. And I didn't really think anything of it because sometimes you hear little knocks and creaks, but something told me to get up and climb over and go to the front. And as I open the curtain to the front, this guy opens the door, says hello, and starts getting into the van. It was an Aboriginal or an Indigenous guy in about his mid-20s, and he was really chill. Like, he's just like, hello, and climbing in. And as soon as I opened the curtain, I screamed like a blood-curdling, bloody nightmare scream. And I had to reach past him a little bit to honk the horn. So I just laid on the horn, and he's like, whoa. He sort of was so chill that he must have been stoned. So he just kind of slowly reversed out of the van, and he closed the door. And I was scared he'd maybe close the door really hard or slam on the door or something, but he just gently closed the door and walked away. So I put on my boots and drove to a new location, and now it's 4 in the morning, and I actually still got a pretty good sleep because in a year and a half of sleeping in different places in different cities in Canada and the US, I've never ever had a problem with anything close to somebody getting into the van in the middle of the night. It was only 10:30 while I was sleeping. So what I learned from this is, number one, know how to lock your doors. Because I actually thought I was locking the doors, and I'll show you what I mean. So it turns out you have to press the button twice to make sure it's locked. Number two, make sure your van is always ready to drive away. I just always make sure that when I want to leave, I am always mobile and I don't have thermoses or kettles or stuff lying around. Number three, make sure your keys are always, and your phone are always in the exact same place so that you don't have to think. Number four is think about how to protect yourself if somebody actually did break in. I wouldn't get an actual weapon like a knife or even bear spray or a gun. I am too little, and I really do believe it could be turned on me far easier than I would be able to use it on someone else. What I am going to get today when the stores open is like an air horn so that I can have it by the bed. If I wake up and he's already inside, then I have something really loud to make noise with. It has to be in a really easily accessible place that you know that you can grab it and you don't have to think. Number 5 or 6 is trust your intuition. I had slept in the same place the night before, and it was in a neighborhood, and then there was a big park and a big playground beside it. In the middle of that night at about 2:30 or 2 in the morning, I heard something being dragged along the road. It's like drag, pause, drag, pause. And I did have a little peek out, but I could tell that it was far enough away that it wasn't really going to affect me. Last night when I parked in the same place, I was thinking about that drag, stop, drag, stop. And I wondered if maybe this wasn't the best place to park a second night. I just wasn't sure. And sure enough, gentle, kind people who just want to check out my van in the middle of the night. That is crazy. Number 7, I am so grateful. That was a very easy lesson, but scary, to learn how to lock your doors properly. You gotta press that button twice to lock the door, not just once. Number 8, not to be scared, because I have had people break into my apartment in the middle of the night when I was 18 and try to assault me. I learned from that if I live my life scared, I'm not going to get any sleep, I'm not going to be healthy, and it's going to happen anyway. So that guy who first broke into my apartment, he would have broken in whether I was living in fear or living in peace and joy. I was living in peace and joy, and I was able to overcome it and move on. Last night, after I moved to a new location, I actually had no problem falling asleep because I know how rarely it does happen. And I also know that not getting sleep is not a healthy way to live life. And if something is going to happen, it's going to happen regardless if I stay up all night worrying or if I just get a good night's sleep. So I'm actually really good at sleeping. Okay, let me show you how to lock the van door properly. So that's my bed. That's where I was sleeping. I hear the tap, 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 and I go and I look through. And there he was coming right in there. And so that's when I reached across and honked the horn really loud. And actually where I'm sleeping now is almost exactly the same as where I was sleeping a few hours ago. Park on one side, houses around. And I like sleeping in places like this because I feel safer with people around. And with locking the van door, I just thought you go like that, but it turns out that's what you have to do. And that shows there that it's locked as well. And I was always just locking it once. And this is where I always keep my key, always hanging around there. And that's where I keep my horn.